Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends EXTREMIS Iron Man, and I'm just going to get this out of the way right away. Some of you might have seen my Instagram post when they first showed off this figure where I said this pose definitely isn't possible. It looks totally photoshopped, and I mean, obviously it's a render, but I thought there's no way the figure can do that, and I was wrong. It can do that. It just has to be in a very unnatural position from every other angle other than the front. So yeah, it looks totally goofy from the sides, but it can do that pose. I was wrong in that post. It wasn't photoshopped. It just requires really good camera angles to make it look good. But this figure is an updated version of the EXTREMIS Iron Man. Is it as good as Captain America? I don't know. We're gonna have to review it. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 17 centimeters. That's going to make him pretty close to, we'll say 6¾ inches. Here he is up against Darwin. Good bit of size on him, not a ton. He's about 1.1 Darwins, I would say. And here he is up against the new Cap that came out at the same time. He's just a touch taller, about 1/8 of an inch maybe, depending on how you have him posed. I think that's okay. I don't know the exact official measurements for these guys, but I imagine Tony Stark in the suit should be slightly taller than Cap, but I don't know for sure. You guys can let me know. Alright, let's do a quick question of the day. How do you guys feel about the EXTREMIS Iron Man? I know it was super popular for a while. Do you like it? To me, it's a little slender, a little sleek, not my style. I love a more classic look, like the well, the one that came with that really disappointing proton cannon. I like that look a lot. This one's not bad. Right now his shoulder pads are all stretched out from being in that pose. It's okay. Alright, for me. You guys can let me know. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the aesthetic. I do wish he had a little bit more saturation. I know it's not supposed to be the brightest thing in the world, but to me the burgundy is just a little bit dull for my liking. Same thing with the gold. And I think for their liking even too, because on the box it has more color, and I like that a lot more. In the artwork it has more color. Everywhere you look at it, it has a little, well that's not him. Everywhere you look at it, it has more color than the figure, so that's a little bit of a bummer. I'm guessing some of you won't care, some of you might, but I have to mention it. There's no paint to speak of on this guy other than where absolutely necessary on the biceps, the chest, the eyes, and the faceplate. So like the details on the face. And those two things. That's pretty disappointing. This figure came out as like one of the best Marvel Legends, at least that Hasbro has produced, and this one comes out as being very mediocre to me. It does, I guess there's a little bit right there. It doesn't stand out as being of any special level of quality at all. It looks like a hunk of plastic. It's not even that metallic. If they had a little bit more metal in there, maybe. I don't know, maybe they did that to avoid swirling, because there's not too much of a swirling situation going on. But to me, it just looks so bland. Like you put these two guys on the shelf together. I don't know. Iron Man looks disappointing, I think. But it's not bad. The sculpt is okay. We'll see about proportioning as we do the articulation. His lower legs look a little bit long. It looks fine. I'm not thrilled. I'm not really disappointed other than the lack of paintwork and saturation. So I'm kind of indifferent. From an aesthetic standpoint, the sculpt is sharp enough. And that's, I guess that's it. So I'll give it a 7. It looks okay. It's definitely better than the old release. You can see that review up there. So it's nice to replace that with a little bit bulkier figure, but it doesn't really do much for me. I do hate the way they made his hips super gappy. You don't need that. You don't need that. You can get good range without that, but they did. Okay, so as far as accessories go, you get the 2 fist hands that come on him in the package. You get 2 repulsor blast hands and 2 repulsor blasts, which look okay. You don't get any painted repulsor hands, so no posing like that, and no blast for his feet or anything else. It's just very basic, no Tony Stark head. They apparently spent too much money on Cap and Iron Man for new molds, and now we have limited accessories for Iron Man. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10 for accessories. Alright, let's talk about articulation. The head is on a hinged ball peg, which looks down well enough, but definitely breaks the neck, so that's not great. It can look up extra far because they put a slit in the back of the neck, which is good. That'll be good for a flight pose. That looks good enough. Definitely prefer a double ball peg, but that'll do. Neck can rotate, of course, or head can rotate on that ball peg. Just a touch of attitude on that ball peg. Definitely would have preferred a double, but that'll be okay. Shoulders have full rotation, of course. Shoulder pad is connected to here, to the shoulders, so that's a good thing. It works for raising the arm up. but the plastic is fairly stiff, and as you can see, it stays in a position if you leave it posed for even a few hours. So either way, that's better than having it connected to the torso. I think having it connected around a like a ring in the shoulder socket would have been better, but this is okay. This will work well enough. Bicep swivel is fine. It is pinless. Double jointed elbow is fine. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge, nothing special there. Torso articulation, it leans back, not that far, but far enough. There, we'll do it like that. Goes forward just a touch, almost none. Almost no range at all going forward. Side to side is pretty good. I'll take that, that's fine. And then you get your rotation. So I'm a little bit disappointed in the diaphragm joint on this guy and on this guy, which you'll see in the next review. Could be a lot better. No waist articulation either. There should definitely be a separation here and another ball peg. Why is it not there? Why is it so limited? This doesn't have enough range. Also, by the way, the paint job for the chest and the eyes, not thrilled. It looks very, very cheap because there's no shading in either. The eyes are barely noticeable because they're almost the same color as the gold, and then the chest is just plain old white. Looks really cheap. These guys do rotate to get out of the way if you need to pose them. Legs do go pretty far forward, so that's good. They go back a decent amount just because there's such a huge socket in there, or huge opening. So that's good if you want the range, but again, it's not great looking. And then going out to the side, it's still pretty limited, even with these things out of the way. It's not bad. It's better than 45. It's better than most figures, but you definitely could get more range out of that, so it's fine. And then your boot swivel or your thigh swivel is hidden in the thigh armor, so I like that. That's good. Double jointed knees, pinless. Let's see what kind of range we get. Decent range, but boy, is that leg proportioning off. Hugely off. Even the shin is longer than the whole thigh. You should have the shin and the foot be the same length as the thigh, and that would look so much better because that's the way it should be. Humans are not built like this. Look at Cap. I'll show you Cap. Look at where his boot goes, even with the heel. His shin and foot are the same length as his thigh. So, way better on Cap. This is ridiculously proportioned. I don't know why they screw that up so much. It's like these are made by two different companies, honestly. This figure is so much better. Ankles on this guy, they go pretty far back. That's good. They go far enough forward. I'll take it. Ankle rocker is fine. It's pretty steep, but it'll do. So yeah, articulation on this guy is not impressive. It is just enough. It's acceptable. There's nothing particularly good about it other than the head can look up. And so I'll give the articulation a 7. It's good enough, but it's not impressive in any way. And so now it's time for the final verdict. If I was just reviewing this guy by himself today, I might feel a little bit better about it. It would be closer to your regular Marvel Legends release. Nothing special, but good enough. But I reviewed this guy first. You guys are going to see this review first, but I reviewed this guy first, and now I'm very disappointed by this one because it's nowhere near as good. It is a big disappointment. It's just good enough. So I'm going to give this one a final rating of 7 out of 10. Could be so much better. So much better, and it's just not. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, and if you haven't subscribed, you should consider it. I have new videos every day but Wednesday, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.